Welcome to the tr6 parts video. Today's video, tr6 counter shaft or lay shaft end flow. So what we're doing in this video is we're going to check the end flow for the lay shaft. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to fit it into the gearbox. We're going to put it in and we're going to check the end flow. Alright, so how are we going to do that? This is not the easiest thing to get in. It goes in sort of straight but doesn't as well. And the reason why is this. I know it sounds odd what I just said. One end of it is pretty flush. It's pretty flush. It sits right on the thrust washer, but the other end is not. The other end you can see is countersunk. So the thrust washer actually goes down here. So here's the problem. Here's what makes it awkward. Is let me turn it here. As you can see in here, I don't know if you actually can see because, sorry, it's dark out already. It's only 3 o'clock and it's already dark. As you can see, the thrust washer sits on, like, I'm gonna say the pedestal in that way. So the gearing actually sits almost flush with that, so it doesn't go directly in. It slides out with the thrust washer, but unless it's lined up perfect, it won't come out. And that's the problem. It's lining the thrust washer up is the issue. So I'm going to show you a little trick to doing that. Well, there's a trick to doing it. So that's the thrust washers. They both look like this. One end is a nice smooth steel and the other one looks like the record player of the Voyager spacecraft. So both of them are like this, and I don't know, I'm not sure if they actually come in different sizes, but I know if you need to skim it, you skim off the steel end of it and that's it. I wouldn't recommend taking it off this side, although it would be easier to do. I wouldn't recommend it because that's the finished side on the gearing, so I'd rather not do that. I'd take it off this side. Just be mindful of this tab. Now this tab actually fits in that little groove there, so when it goes in, it sits in one spot. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So again, this is just a way of doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put this thrust washer in first. I'm not going to stick it. I'm just going to put it there, and I'm going to bring it slightly towards me, just a tiny bit outwards. And the reason why you'll see. I'm going to put the gearing in. The gearing has to go over. So when it goes over, it's not all the way in. So when you put it over, you have to slide it in the rest of the way. So the thrust washer will actually go with it. But you don't want it too far out because it will twist. And you don't want it too far in because when you slide it, it goes off the far end and drops down. And you'll spend about 20 minutes trying to get it out. Don't ask me how I know that. Okay. So the gearing itself, what we're going to do is we're going to actually put it in and go up. We're going to go through the hole. And we're actually going to then spin it and actually, swing it. And then this end is going to go in this way and it's going to go over the thrust washer. The reason why it doesn't, again, it's too big to fit in. It physically does not fit in the hole. So it has to go in at an angle. If you're wondering why I'm doing that. So I have it sitting over it, and again I apologise for the light because it's I'll try and move it a little bit more light in. Hopefully it's a bit brighter. Hopefully that's a little better. I do have a light here, so let me see if this will help. I don't know if that'll help. Anyway, so it's sitting on it right now, but what I have to do is it's not straight, it's crooked. So now I have to shimmy the bottom out to shimmy the top in. So what I do is I lift it up and down a bit, and I sort of till it straightens and I slide it in. Sorry, I'm used to doing it from the opposite side. Alright, there it goes. It's starting to slide in. Now before I push it too far, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hand up. So I have it at the edge of a table because I want to bring it out. I want to have it overhanging off the edge of the table. And there's a reason why, is because, let me bring it back, it actually allows me to put a hand in. So look, hey, I can put a hand in and now I can actually put a hand in and actually check that the thrust washer is still in play. So I can feel this here, I can feel the gearing. I know it's gone in a bit too far. So I'll say the thrust washer, I need to pull the thrust washer out. So now they're in line. But are they in line? That's the thing. The only way you're going to know for sure, and I wish I could show you, but it's so hard and I tried, is that you have to lift the gearing up a tiny bit and look for that tab. You can barely see it, but you can see if that tab is in that groove. Once it's in the groove, leave it. Don't touch it. because we're going to put the shaft in then. So I'm just going to pop it up to hopefully see it. I just want to lift it enough that I can see that the tab is actually in position. Oh. Easier said than done. What doesn't help is it's dark, so I can't see if the tab is, so I have to borrow the light. This is where if it was steel it'd be much better, because then I'd be able to see it. And of course, being the winter, it doesn't help. I don't have much natural light. I can't see it at all. I'm throwing it completely here. Sorry, I'm looking at the I have the camera on the TV at the same time, so that allows me to see what you're seeing. So if I'm not in the way or if I'm out of shot, because a lot of videos I've done, like, people said that you couldn't see it and I didn't realize I was out of shot. Alright, I can see the tab, and yes, it's right where I needed to be. It's in that groove. Alright, so it's lined up with the groove. As I said, all I'm doing is I'm putting the finger through into the bottom of the shaft just to line up the gear with the hole. So what I'm going to do from here now is I'm going to actually take the lay shaft itself and place it in. So I'm going to move, let me get that out of the way. I'm going to move this out enough that I can actually get the shaft in. Now of course you want to make sure that the shaft does have a slice in it. You have to make sure that goes up. So I'm going to pull the gearbox off the table enough that this goes in. Alright. Once it's in, I'm going to place it back over the table and let the shaft drop down. So the shaft now is in there, but it's only a partial of the way up. All that's doing is stopping the bottom gearing from moving. It just stops it from moving, so it keeps it in position. And I should be able to check it again. I have the light. Okay. Alright. Now that's in all the way, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the shaft all the way up, and this is what holds it in position. But I'm not going to screw it, I'm just going to place it along the edge, just enough to, oh sorry, I have to put the thrust washer on the top. So the thrust washer again is going to go in, I'm going to slide it up on top, and we can look down on it. So again, make sure it's lined up with the groove. So it's always handy to have a flathead screwdriver. Once it's lined up with the groove, then we're going to send the shaft all the way up. So, all I've done, like I said, I've brought the shaft up, and I've just basically it's not correct, but it's just enough just to hold it. All I want to do is to hold the shaft for now. Now that we have it in, the shaft's all the way up, we are going to use feeler gauges. And we have a gap in here. So because it's sitting down, because it's all the weight is downwards, it allows me to go here. Like if I was to move this up, the play is between the thrust washer and the top there. It doesn't seem much, but that's where it is. So I'm allowing the weight of its own of the I'm allowing the weight of the actual gearing to sit down to hold it in position. Sorry, I'll move it, you can see a bit better. So this one's actually meant to be between 4 and 9 thousandths of an inch. So the first thing we want to do is see if 4 4 tail actually fits in. That's the first thing we're going to do. And then we'll do a 9. If the 9 doesn't fit and the 4 does fit, well then that's good so far, and we'll see where we stop in between. Okay, so if you can see, the 4 fits in there, no problem. I'm going to check both sides. So make sure you go both sides of that tab. So the 4 fitted in. We're going to go all the way up to the 9 now. So a fair bit of pressure to get this in. Yeah, it's a fair bit of pressure, so I wouldn't say it's 9. I'm going to go 7. Let's see where we are. It's hard because this thrust washer moves on you. Alright, so 7 has gone in. A little bit of pressure. So I'm going to say it's probably 7, maybe 8. Tail. Yeah, that one just goes in as well, so. Alright, so we're going to about 7 or 8 tail play. So I'll double check it is right and it's not the 12. Sorry, it's between 7 and 12, my mistake. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up between the other end, because it says, yeah, it should be first and second gears, the end flow is 4 to 8. But the whole shaft, the end flow should be 7 to 12 tail. So let's see. We know the 8 went in and the 9 just went in. We're going to go 10. No, 10's not going in. So we're looking at about 7 or 8 tail play. Now, here's the thing. If you had a, if you were to magnetize it, what you could do is you could do the same thing. You could actually put a magnet to here pointing out and then touching off something and again just slightly play with it. But to be honest, it's a little awkward. I find this probably the better way because all the weight is naturally going down anyway. So the only play is at the very top. Yeah, sorry, the other gap I was looking at was actually for the main shaft, believe it or not. That's actually for the play on that one. So yeah, so that one now seems to be fine. Now that it's okay, can I leave it in there? Well, absolutely, I can leave it exactly where it is. I don't have to take it back out. So I can leave it in there. The only thing I might want to do is take it out and make sure it's greased up pretty good. But with the shaft in there now, and I know that the play is okay, I can actually now turn it on its side so I don't lose the lay shaft, so it doesn't slip back out. But if it does, I know everything is okay now. All the gapping is pretty correct, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, so that's really for that. It's a short one to do, but that's how we check the gap. If, again, you want to make sure that all grit is all off your gearing as well. So before you put it in, make sure you clean out the channels. Make sure there's no grit, because the grit will also cause it to get stuck. And you don't want that because you're trying to measure the gap, because let's face it, any tiny bit of grit could be ending up to 2-3 of an inch. So that's it. So once we know that, then I can move on, and then the next thing I'll start doing is start putting the reverse gearing in, and from there then I can start to do the rest of it. But I'm going to take this back out, and I'm actually going to lubricate it a little better before I actually permanently leave it in there. I want to lubricate the shaft to make sure there's definitely oil in the middle of it before it never turns. So yeah, time to take it back out. So that's really it. Any comments, questions, concerns, again, give me a shout. To take it out is almost the same way as you sort of put in the... Once you take out the washer first, again, it should slide out. Now that it's on the already, it should slide straight out. Should. Everything's falling over here. Oh, it won't slide out because the shaft is not all the way out. So I'm just going to lift like this because I know it's gone in. And again, that's the reason why I held off the edge of the table, because it allows me to get my hand in there. So it slides out until the last little bit because it has to come up over that groove. So as you can see, when I took it out, you can see the thrust washer is still in line. So it slid out straight and it's still in line with that groove. So that's how I know it was in there correctly to begin with. Now, if you're not too sure, you can't get that to sit in correctly. Like, you could put, I don't know, you could probably get away with the tiniest bit of grease just to keep it stuck there to try stop it moving. I mean, there's meant to be play on it. There is a little bit of wobble on it. So if you could get something just to hold it in. This is just the hard one. The top one is easy. It's just stopping this from going in, because once the gear goes up and over, it wants to slide it in and push it. And the problem is that we'll lift it up a bit, and once it goes sideways, you lose it. So it's keeping it there. You could always mark it or chalk it so you can see a little better if you're not too sure. But yeah, there's nothing really, you can't glue it in any way, shape or form. The only other thing you could do, now that I look at it, it's giving me an idea, is on the bottom of that is 2 threads, 2 holes. Here, here's an idea, just seen this now. Let me look down on it. Where the thrust washer goes in, you can see the 2 holes there, just side by side to it, not the big ones, the ones up top. So if you had, I'm talking about these ones here. These ones here. If you had a little tiny magnet that was like a pencil, you could probably stick that through there and actually keep it magnetized to the bottom, and that actually be a lot better. That's not a bad idea. But you'd have to have the right magnet, just something that sticks through there, just enough to hold this in position. So when the magnet's on the bottom, it will just go in and it will keep it magnetized there until you're finished with it and pop the magnets off. That's an idea. So that's something as well you could do. It would be interesting if I had a magnet to do it. Alright, well that's it. Again, any comments, questions, concerns, let me know. And yeah, next video will be that, and then we're going to do our reverse gearing, and then we're going to start putting our actual main shaft completely together and slowly but surely reassembling it. So, thanks for watching.